but they are amazing for handling. This is like the best snake, I think, for handling for beginners. I don't recommend getting one. They can be feisty, they can be picky eaters, they can be difficult shedders. Husbandry can be difficult for beginners. I would not recommend a ball python for a beginner. But I definitely recommend them for beginning handling. So what you're going to want to do is, visit with people who have ball pythons or snakes and handle theirs. Don't go buying one and thinking you're doing a good thing by, overcoming your fear, trying to overcome your fear. And then what happens when that snake decides, one day it wants to be left alone, and it either hisses at you or strikes, tags, something like that, you're suddenly going to be reinforced being scared of snakes, and now you're responsible for one. So what are you going to do when it comes time to have to take care of that animal? Having to remove it from its enclosure for cleaning purposes or vetting purposes. You're still going to have to handle that snake. You're still going to have to do what you have to do to take care of it. That's why I think it's a terrible idea to get snakes when you're afraid of snakes. I think it's a great idea to try to get over, sorry, sweetie. It's a great idea to try to get over it, but you shouldn't be responsible for one until you are completely over it. And by that, you have to have been bitten at least once. It's really not that bad. I thought she was going to nibble on me just then, but no, she's a good girl. Yeah, you have to at least one time you got to get bit by, a snake, especially a snake. If you're planning on keeping one, if you want a ball python, find yourself someone who's got a cantankerous ball python, go get bit. As silly as that sounds, it's so not as bad as you might think it is that it's almost laughable. An adult size, pissy ball python who might be in food mode could do some damage, sure. Outside of that, I really just don't see it happening, other than, they get around your wrist or something, and you could break a wrist or sprain your wrist or something if it doesn't want to let go. But I mean, a ball python is going to do minimal damage, I think, to most people. Obviously, it could do a lot of damage to a small child. If you have a small child who's, obviously you're not going to hand, here's a, hello, small child, here is a cantankerous ball python, handle it. Obviously we don't do that. That's dumb. But definitely, she's getting cranky, so I think I'm going to put her back soon. Definitely, get over your fear without having to take care of one. I see that. I feel like it's a huge mistake a lot of people make. It's super unfortunate because it's the snake who suffers in the end, and that's not really fair. For an animal to suffer because you're trying to get over your fear. Even though I completely approve of trying to get over your fear, I just feel like there's better ways of going about it. So